Hello everyone, I am Teacher Jen, and this lesson is about the simple past tense of the verb. This lesson is designed for the lower primary. When do we use the simple past tense of the verb? We use the simple past tense to show that actions have already happened in the past, meaning activities, adventures, experiences that started and ended sometime in the past, meaning it is over. In short, simple past tense is used in telling stories. Take a look at the diagram. So this is now. This is the moment, the present. So everything before now is the past. So it can be actions, activities that took place a while ago, just now, a long time ago, like in fairy tales. And everything after now is the future. So it can be later on, tomorrow, tonight, next year. So the simple past tense is used to talk about stories, adventures, events, situations that took place in the past. These are the usual time indicators or guide words. Just now, yesterday, a while ago, recently, last weekend, a long time ago, or moments ago. Verbs can be regular verbs or irregular verbs. And by the way, verbs are action words. The regular verbs are verbs in which you just add the letter D or ED to form the past tense. Let us first study the verbs in which we add the letters E and D. So base form plus ED. Now what is base form, Teacher Jen? Base form is the original form of the verb. Here are some examples of verbs in which you just add the letters E and D to form the past tense. So look, the past tense is looked. Talk, talked. Watch, watched. Push, pushed. Laugh, laughed. Play, played. Show, showed. Join, joined. So if you've noticed, we just add the letters E and D to form the past tense. So these are examples of regular verbs. It doesn't matter whether the subject is singular or plural. Let's take the verb watch as an example. Watch is the original verb or the base form. Watched is the past tense. I watched. You watched. He watched. She watched. It watched. We watched. They watched. So for example, I watched a movie last night. They watched a movie last night. We watched a movie last night. Verbs are used in forming positive sentences, negative sentences, and questions. For example, the verb watch. Watch, this is the original verb. Watched is the past tense of the verb. Positive, negative, question. For negative sentences, we use did not or didn't. Didn't is the conjugation or the shortened form of the verb did not. And for question, we use did. Let's study the following sentences. Positive. I watched a movie last night. So use the past tense of the verb. Negative sentence. I did not watch, meaning you have to go back to the original verb. A movie last night. I didn't watch a movie last night. So you can either use did not or didn't. And remember, you have to use the original verb. And for question, you can use did. Did you watch a movie last night? So in the question, you have to use also the original verb, which is watch. Here is another example. The verb play. The past tense of the verb play is played. Positive sentence. He played yesterday. So use the past tense of the verb. For negative sentence, once again, you have to use did not or didn't. Number 1, he did not play yesterday. Number 2, he didn't play yesterday. So if you use did not or didn't, you have to go back to the original verb. For the question, we have to use did. Did he play yesterday? So go back again to the original verb. To form the past tense of verbs ending in letter E, you have to use the base form of the verb, which is the original verb, plus the letter D. Here are some examples of verbs ending in letter E. Dance, danced. Agree, agreed. Like, liked. Move, moved. So if the verb ends with letter E, add the letter D to form the past tense. Let us analyze the following sentences. The first sentence, Mark and Carmen danced at the party last night. So we use the verb danced because the time indicator is last night. David moved to a new school last year. We use moved because the time indicator or the time element in this sentence is last year. I hope you understand the regular verbs, my dear young learners. So this time, I'm going to explain to you the irregular verbs. An irregular verb is any verb that does not add ed or d in its past tense form. So if in the regular verbs we add the letters d or ed, in the irregular verb we don't. Now, this one you have to memorize. There's no other way because there is no fixed rule to this, although they have certain patterns. So again, I firmly suggest that you memorize as it's the best way to learn the irregular verbs. Here are some examples of irregular verbs under past tense form. Memorizing them is the only way. Let's begin. You can read with me. Go, went. Do, did. Eat, ate. Fall, fell. Break, broke. Sing, sang. Catch, caught. buy, bought, win, won, sell, sold, hide, hid, leave, left, send, sent, write, wrote, teach, taught, sleep, slept, take, took, sell, sold, know, knew, say, said, bring, brought, forget, forgot, spend, spent, blow, blew. So try to memorize all of them. Okay? Let us use the verb go and went in forming positive sentence, negative sentence, and a question. Positive sentence. I went to the beach last Sunday. So we use the past tense of the verb go, which is went. For negative sentence, I did not go to the beach last Sunday. If we use did not or didn't, we have to go back to the original form of the verb. Question. Did you go to the beach last Sunday? Since this is a question, you have to go back to the original form of the verb. Let us read the following sentences. The careless boy broke the vase just now. Broke is the past tense of break. Next one. My father taught me how to make a kite last weekend. The time indicator is last weekend. And the verb used in the sentence is taught. Taught is the past tense of teach. There are some verbs ending in Y. In forming the past tense, you have to change the letter Y to IED. This rule does not apply to the verbs play and buy. Here are some words ending in Y that in forming the past tense, you have to change the letter Y to IED. Carry, carried. So change Y to IED. Study, studied. Bury, buried. Pay, paid. Cry, cried. Hurry, harried. So this rule again does not apply to the verbs buy because the past tense of the verb buy is bought. And also the verb play. The past tense of the verb play is played. You add ed to the verb play. Ahmad studied for the test last Sunday. The verb studied is the past tense of the verb study. I carried a heavy box just now. Carried is the past tense of carry. So change the letter Y to IED. You have to bear in mind that some irregular verbs, the past tense looks exactly like or looks exactly the same as the base form. The past tense of the verb put is also put. Cut, the past tense is cut. Set, the past tense is set. Cost, the past tense is cost. And hit, the past tense is hit. Lastly, there are verbs in which you need to double the last letter of the verb plus the letters E and D. Like stop, mop, hop, jog, and drop. The past tense of the verb stop is stopped. Double P plus E and D. Mop, the past tense is mopped. Hop, the past tense is hopped. Jog, the past tense is jogged. So you have to double the letter G plus the letters E and D. And the word drop, the past tense is dropped. So how do you find this lesson, my dear young learners? Is it easy or difficult? I know that memorizing all the rules in forming the simple past tense of the verb is not that easy. But I firmly believe that with constant practice and revision, you can do. So before I end this lesson, let us have a short evaluation, whether you comprehend the lesson or not. Let's start. You are given 10 seconds to answer each question. Number 1. She brought her sister to school yesterday. A. Brung. B. Brought. C. Bringing. And what is your answer? Is it A, B, or C? The correct answer is letter B. She brought her sister to school yesterday. Number 2. Mr. Lee blanked his car just now. A. Driving. B. Drives. C. Drove. 10 seconds. So what is the past tense of the verb drive? It is drove. So Mr. Lee drove his car just now. Number 3. It blanked heavily last Monday morning. A. Rained. B. Rains. And letter C. Raining. Is it rained, rains, or raining? It rained heavily last Monday morning. The past tense of the verb rain is rained. Number 4. Did Mr. Lazarte blank maths in your school last year? A. Taught. B. Teach. C. Teaching. What is the answer? Is it taught, teach, or teaching? Did Mr. Lazarte teach maths in your school last year? Remember, if it's a question, you have to use the original verb. And number 5, choose the correct sentence. A. We did not went to my uncle's house last night. And letter B. We did not go to my uncle's house last night. Is it A or B? The correct sentence is letter B. We did not go to my uncle's house last night. Thank you very much, my dear young learners, for learning with me today. And if you find this lesson a bit confusing, you can play this video again. Take care, everyone, and I hope to see you soon.